crypto crackheads and cryptillions, my BEPRO train. Hey, check it out, bloody. I told you March would be bloody and or boring. Hey, so this is a perfect example. This little crash that we're having is a perfect example of two things that I've been saying multiple times throughout my videos. I did miss the specifics. However, it's a perfect example of two things. The first thing is the hologram, right? So where my cursor is, you have different time frames. They create different perspectives. So as you move past one of those holographic pictures, it changes, right? It looks different. So these time frames make it look different. But you also have trading pairs, so that like make the hologram to the point where you can like look at it backwards almost, you know? So now, then you also have trading pairs up on top of the time frame. So look what's happening on the trading pair BEPRO BTC. So the first thing is holograms. You got to look at something a lot of different ways, and I missed this way, so I just missed it. And I could have been able to call perhaps testing strongly the very bottom of the range, or even the daily 21, which is at 0.00365, something like that. But anyway, check this out. So the hologram thing, I missed this, so that's one example of why it's so important to look at something a lot of different ways, seeing the same story from a different perspective. But the second thing is, I've let you know that price, when two important lines cross, okay, that price will either get sucked down to it if price happens to be above that, or if price happens to be below whatever's getting ready to cross, like a death cross. Price likes to get sucked into it before it crashes. And so, and I said before it crashes, that's if it gets sucked up. But if it gets sucked down, a lot of times it gets sucked down before it takes off, right? So the same type of thing. So look here, I have pulled up BEPRO to BTC pairing. I have it on the daily. Look at what's happening. Blue line is your 55 EMA, orange line is your 200. That's a golden cross. BEPRO has not maintained a golden cross ever on the pairing because it's been a bear market. So the way bots took people's money during the bear market last time is it allowed for, on the BTC pairing, allowed for a golden cross, and price got sucked down into it, right? And it formed a really long base for, actually, whoops, how many days? Let's just call it from here. 127 days of leveling out, you know, created a very strong base. And price is experiencing getting sucked down to the, you know, or towards, is it going to come all the way down to this? Probably not. But it still gets sucked towards it. It essentially comes like a black hole. You know, you can escape a black hole as long as you don't get close enough, depending on your velocity and the size of the black hole, or the mass of the black hole. But yeah, I mean, look at this blue line getting right across. Price getting sucked down to it, and I missed it. I didn't see that. Another thing is important here is a lot of times in bull runs, the daily, so I'm on the daily and my pairing is BTC. So this is BEPRO versus BTC. It looks pretty similar to the USD chart. But anyway, after a massive run, tagging and testing and building a base off of the daily 21 is extremely bullish. You know, you could say, look at all this is crashing, and how could that be bullish? Well, it is. It just is. Like, that's what it means. If you're above your daily 21 and you're price checking it and creating support off of it, that's extremely bullish. And those are great times to buy. If something's bullish and it comes all the way down to its daily or weekly 21, even better, which I think Bitcoin will be doing here shortly, going down to 39.5. So, and weekly is even down lower, so Bitcoin's going to test something down even farther than what BEPRO did. Daily 21 is not an aggressive move down, even though since we had such an aggressive move up from the pump train, you know, you're just going to have to weather this stuff and, you know, save some, sell 10% at the top of ranges and, you know, buy back at the bottom of the range. It's just what you're going to have to do, and you got to flip between pairings, and I have not mentioned that, so that's my fault. I've been trying to give you guys a heads up. I definitely missed that. And I missed it because BPRO had been playing off of the USDT pairing so perfectly. However, sometimes bots wait to kick in. They only play the BTC pairing if something like this is approaching. So they're programmed to say, like an if-then statement, if BTC pairing, the daily golden cross is going to happen within this percentage, then then sell towards it, then initiate sell orders, and then it's going to be programmed to initiate buy orders once it gets to a certain point, and that might not be on the BTC pairing. It might be programmed, okay, initiate sell orders until on the 4-hour chart BTC pairing we hit the exponential moving average, 89 moving average, something like that. Or it could be programmed to the USD to turn buys back on. It could be the daily 21 here, which is kind of my guess. 0.00364. However, look at the formation I drew. I haven't changed this. This is from my previous video. I haven't changed it. It's still within the formation, people. It's at the very bottom of the formation. But what had I said in the video? Taking 10% of your holdings, selling near the top, not market selling, but limit selling, create liquidity up here, so it might break through, and then when that sells, buy back at the bottom. That's what's happening, And so those two things I wanted to cover, and it's live in the moment, it's happening. I know it's scary, especially if you bought at 0.006. I get it. If you spend $500 on this and it turned into 300, I know that feeling. But you're not on leverage. You're not going to get liquidated out of a position, right? So, in these types of bloody moments, you just do two things. Realize next time, buy blood, or buy before something skyrockets, right? Buy a formation that's getting ready to skyrocket before it does, and don't just hope that it skyrockets and then skyrockets on top of skyrockets, right? So buy blood or buy a breakout. And two, you have to weather big dips in altcoins, and even in Bitcoin, and all of crypto. It's drastic, but when it does bleed, right, and you get scared, just use technical analysis. Look at the 21 EMAs on daily and weekly. Look at the 10 EMAs, and that will build some perspective on if something's still bullish, even though you see your money going down to 300. And so those two things, just in the future, don't buy after a breakout, buy blood instead. And two, try to calm your emotions by looking at technicals like these moving averages and the definitions of them, such as if you're above the 21 EMA on the daily, that's bullish. So you look at something and as your money's dropping, you're like, oh, how could this be bullish? Well, it is. Technical analysis says this is, just by definition of what bullish means. I guess dinner's about ready to be served. I wanted to jump on this as a lot of people might be freaking out right now. You have to get used to this type of stuff. I'll help folks look out, BPRO or not BPRO in the future. I'm going to try to help people know that, hey, bear market might be coming, and it's just this over and lower high, over and lower high, over and over and over. But this is the beginning of a bull market, very likely, right? Now it is a bull market. So getting scared out of positions like this is not going to do you any favors. So just learn lesson and calm yourself with technicals, as I've been showing you. You'll be okay. And sometimes you just, in a bull market, if you bought a little high, you might have to wait a month for it to come back and pass until you have earnings. And during that time, you just don't look at it. Like, this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. These are things that I do. It sucks sometimes, but that's the way it is. You just learn your lesson and do it better next time. So, but you're not going to get liquidated because you're not leveraged. So when it comes back up, you have all your money there and US dollars. It's okay. It's going to be fine. And it looks like it's bouncing hard already. Look at it. So, yeah, so I told my group that I think the play is on the USDT pairing. I told them I think the play is the 4-hour 89 EMA. It's a very strong thing for bots, and it's been playing it the whole time. So I kind of knew the bots were programmed to it. So look, wick down, boom. And remember my earlier video today, I said to scare people out of positions, and I mentioned it might go up all the way here and come back down. And then the second time I mentioned that, hey, it might come back here and come back down and wick below, right? And wick below. So when bots know that, people are either focusing on an exponential moving average and or a triangle, they'll love to crash down to it and then wick hard below it. And then right as they get enough for your money of panic selling, boom, right back up. That's what it loves to do. and that's why it's great to buy blood. I mean, especially if it makes sense to buy blood there, right? So it would have made sense to buy about here, or on the daily 21 to put in some buy orders way down here, even if they don't get filled at 0.0037, that's fine. But it would have made sense to buy there as well, put some limit buy orders. And also for perspective, people, check this out. Remember these origin lines I talked about? And I said if it's above this, I think I said if it's between these lines, that's a great buy opportunity, right? And I might have mentioned this is like the top end section. So this is the middle high end, right? This is middle high of the range. So if we're above this and between that one and this one, that's bullish. Like this is bullish. And look, we tagged it below it and we're bouncing off of it. So we have like 3 different things in play: triangle, moving averages, and one of these origin lines that goes way back here from the breakout back in January before the breakout. So we have 3 really strong, incredible supports there, which is why straddling buy orders around there is great, buying those dips, buying blood. So don't freak out, people, hold your horses, you know, and you know, again, it could come down and test this previous high at 0.002. It really could. So I'm not gonna lie to you, it could. Now will it? It's very improbable. But I think it's going to come back and fill this out and test the top of the range, come back down, bam, that would be my guess. But that's what we got going on. And this is going to be common, people. It's going to happen all over. So the way, you know, throughout crypto, 30% dips, 40% dips. And the way you avoid this is, 1, buy blood. You know, even though you have to wait for it. You know, you see price skyrocket. You're like, oh, I'm missing out, I'm missing out, I'm missing out. No, don't do it. In a bull market, buy when there's blood. 2, and this won't happen to you. 2, and it's not happened to me. I bought a lot lower. I bought before it broke out. Actually, as it was beginning to break out. So I bought a breakout, right? So buy blood or buy a breakout, and then 2, you know, if you happen to have come up here, just calm yourself with technicals. That's all I'll leave you with. Stay safe out in crypto, and don't panic sell. And this is not financial advice. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm just a random dude on the internet who is speaking to himself and recording it and sharing it with others. Peace out, BEPRO Train, crypto crackheads and cryptillions.